Kelsey Plum has officially signed with the Indiana Fever. The team proudly announced her arrival, and yes, it's true. Kelsey just made what might be the sharpest move of her career. Following such a Sibyllese decision to leave the Dallas Wings for the Indiana Fever, it seems like a ripple effect is sweeping through the WNBA, sparking some serious career-defining decisions across the league.
Why?
What is going on in their locker room? Like, this Aces team is falling apart. This is not a coach that I would want to play for. Because everyone wants to team up with Caitlin Clark. If you're paying attention, it's clear who's poised to dominate the 2025 season. Players aren't just after wins anymore. They're chasing glory alongside Clark. You don't have it every year. It's not the way this works. You don't get to flip a switch. It's the beautiful thing about sports, actually. The work and the commitment and the buy-in and the play hard and the want to and the will always show up. Plum made the decision to sign with Indiana, and let's be real, she's no ordinary player. Two-time WNBA champion, three-time All-Star, and a true game-changer. She's now joining forces with Clark and Sabali to form a fearsome trio. The Fever are about to shake up the entire league. Sis with the two-time defending champs looking very much like it as Pussy Plum held out her hand for Clark to shake, and Clark plainly just backed away from her. Sure, Caitlin doesn't need backup. But when players like Angel Reese, Aya Wilson, and Undie Carter are gunning for you, it's a huge advantage to have trusted allies by your side. We have to get better. We have to really take a sharp look at ourselves, look ourselves in the mirror, see our shortcomings, and then, we gotta make the moves necessary. Whatever that means, to put the best product that we possibly can. It's not gonna be the same group probably next year, just me. And I'm sad about that because I really liked it. They were paying my ass, but I was paying their ass too. Plum, the backbone of the Las Vegas Aces, a team that's been riding high on championship glory thanks to her, is now at the heart of trade talks. This is a player who's been leading the Aces, averaging 17.8 points per game in 2024, and making defenses look amateur. The idea of her leaving Vegas for Indiana isn't just a trade. It's a complete shift in the power dynamics. We got a lot of smack last year. I'm sure they heard it, and they gotta smack us this year. So for US, we will have a long. The Indiana Fever aren't just another team hoping for a lucky break. They've been quietly, and sometimes loudly, building a roster that screams future dynasty. Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation already playing like she owns the league, is leading the charge. If Plum joins the squad, it's like adding rocket fuel to an already blazing fire. Imagine Plum and Clark in the same backcourt. Defenses would have nightmares. But let's not sugarcoat it. While this move could elevate the Fever to serious contenders, it might also spell chaos for the Aces. Losing Plum would be like removing the foundation from under a skyscraper. Sure, Vegas still has talent, but replacing a player like her? Good luck with that. Paige reminds me a lot of you.
Like, it's not really about me.
And she goes to her privilege and guides her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball. But, like, she understands her privilege. It's just her over the top. It reminds me a lot of you. Now, before you start thinking, didn't the Aces lock Plum down with that shiny $249,250 Supermax contract? Yeah, they did. They designated her as a core player. And everything, which sounds solid and final, until you remember how the WNBA works. Contracts in this league are less like handcuffs and more like loose guidelines. A sign and trade deal could happen faster than Plum sinks a three. And trust me, if the Fever come knocking, Vegas will have to think long and hard about whether holding on to Plum is worth sacrificing their future flexibility. You think the Aces front office is sleeping well these days? They went from dominating the league, winning back-to-back championships, literally having teams craft their roster in order to beat the Aces, is now the team that did not live up to expectations this year and is a team that's one by one falling apart in front of our own very Enter the Golden State Valkyries, the WNBA's shiny new expansion team that's practically shouting, "Hey Kelsey, remember your California roots." And here's the fun twist. Their head coach, Natalie Nakes, used to coach Plum in Vegas. The dots are connecting themselves, and a move back to California doesn't seem so far-fetched. The Valkyries are like that new kid in school who already knows everyone and shows up with the cool stuff. But here's the catch. While the Valkyries might be tempting, the Fever's rise and Caitlin Clark's insane popularity make Indiana just as compelling. Plum's got choices, and every single one of them is juicy. Chicago, as we just said, has Tyler Marsh as their head coach. He was also an assistant for the Las Vegas Aces, so that's caused a lot of back and forth because they've had two now assistant coaches leave. Natalie Nakes is now the head coach of the Valkyries. If you like the video, then definitely give a like to the video. Statistically, Kelsey Plum is an absolute beast. Her 36.8% shooting from beyond the arc in the 2024 season is solid, but let's not forget that playoff game against the Liberty.
6 points on
2, 4, 9 shooting. That's the kind of performance that makes you question everything. Was it a fluke?
a bad day?
Or is Plum itching for a change of scenery to get back to her best? Either way, teams are circling like sharks because players like Plum don't grow on trees. She's a proven winner, and any team that lands her is instantly in the championship conversation. But then there was the situation with Aya Wilson. Some felt like her comments were diminishing the accomplishments of players like Kelsey Plum and Paige Buchers.
To many, it
seemed like she was throwing Plum a backhanded compliment. That video rubbed a lot of fans the wrong way, leaving a sour taste for Aces fans, WNBA fans, and Plum's loyal supporters. Now, let's zoom in on the Fever, because their situation is just as spicy. Kelsey Mitchell has been holding it down for Indiana since 2018, and her 2024 season was a chef's kiss. She averaged 19.2 points per game and shot over 40% from three. She's been through hell, losing her father last year, yet she came out stronger, leading the team and mentoring younger players like Caitlin Clark. The Fever didn't hesitate to lock her down with a $618,000 extension, signaling that she's their franchise player. But what happens if Plum walks in? Does Mitchell take a back seat? Do they share the spotlight? Or does the team implode under the weight of too many stars? It's like trying to fit two queens on one throne. Messy, but oh so entertaining to watch. Let's talk records, because Caitlin Clark smashed them like they were made of glass. She rewrote the WNBA single-season assist record, dropping a jaw-dropping 337 dimes, breaking a record that had stood since 1998. Oh, and how about becoming the first rookie in league history to rack up multiple triple-doubles? Yeah, she did that too. She's not just playing. She's redefining what's possible in a rookie season. But here's the kicker. Her impact goes beyond individual accolades. Clark elevated everyone around her. The Fever hadn't sniffed the playoffs since 2016, but with her running the show, they punched their ticket. That's what generational talent looks like. She doesn't just shine. She makes the whole team brighter. But here's where it gets juicy. The Fever's rise is happening at the same time the Las Vegas Aces are crumbling like a sandcastle in high tide. The whole league has been pissed off for the last 8 months. Players are in commercials, being celebrities, and getting distracted. Once the WNBA's undisputed powerhouse, the Aces are now a team in chaos. Their flameout against the New York Liberty was bad enough. Their offensive rating dropped by nearly 7 points. But the off-court drama? Even worse. General Manager Natalie Williams and key assistants have jumped ship, leaving head coach Becky Hammon scrambling to patch up the mess. Despite back-to-back championships and a deep playoff run, this season the Las Vegas Aces have fired GM Natalie Williams. And while Aya Wilson tries to hold it together, players like Tiffany Hayes are reportedly questioning the team's culture and direction. The dynasty vibes? Long gone. I'm going to go out there and try to be the best, Wilson said. You all are saying best player in the world. That's great. It looks great, but I want to be the best person. I want to be the best teammate because that's how I get the best out of my team. But let's not forget Kelsey Plum's less than stellar playoff performance. 6 points on 2, 4, 9. Shooting in a critical game. That's not the Plum we're used to seeing. Sure, everyone has an off night, but when your team is falling apart, performances like that don't exactly inspire confidence. Now, with whispers of Plum possibly leaving, the Aces are staring down the barrel of a massive identity crisis. If she leaves, they're not just losing a key scorer, they're losing a cornerstone of what made them great. Rebuilding after that? Good luck. Meanwhile, back in Indiana, the Fever are licking their chops with Clark, Mitchell, and rising star Aaliyah Boston. They're already on the verge of something special, and if Plum does make her way to Indiana, the Fever might just blow the roof off the WNBA. But let's be real, adding Plum to this mix isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It raises big questions. How do you integrate another alpha scorer without disrupting the balance that's been so crucial to their success? Can Mitchell and Plum share the spotlight without stepping on each other's toes? It's a high-risk, high-reward scenario, but if it works, the Fever won't just be playoff contenders, they'll be championship favorites. The WNBA is shifting in ways we haven't seen before. The Aces, once untouchable, are now teetering on the edge, while the Fever are climbing to heights they haven't reached in nearly a decade. And at the center of it all is Caitlin Clark, the rookie who's already playing like an MVP. Whether the Fever add Plum or stick with their current core, one thing is clear: this team is here to stay. The league's power dynamics are changing, and if you're not paying attention, you're missing out on one of the most exciting storylines in years. The Aces may be fading, but the Fever, they're just getting started. And trust me, this is only the beginning. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one player or one team. It's about WNBA's balance of power shifting right before our eyes. If Plum goes to Indiana, the league gets a new superpower, and the Aces are left scrambling to stay relevant. The Valkyries could swoop in and change everything, or Plum could shock us all and stay in Vegas. Whatever happens, one thing's for sure: this is the kind of drama that makes the WNBA must watch. Thanks for watching and subscribe to the channel.